Hello, everyone. Namaskar, and welcome back to another episode of Everything Kosher. My name is Siddhi Rana, the director of KOA Youth, and on today's episode, we have Manik Dutt, who hails from Jammu and is an advocate practicing at the J&K High Court. Welcome, Manik. How are you today? Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Namaskar, Siddhi, and namaskar to everybody who is watching this. I am a practicing advocate at Jammu and Kashmir. I am into the field of civil litigation, and I am a standing counsel for a PHA department in Ladakh. And else than that, I am a research professional as well. I have written a journal in Jamia Islamia journal, and else than that, I do admire the cause that KO is working for. And thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. But
It's a
wow,
pleasure.
yes, it is. But law is a profession that honestly I would not expect many Kashmiris in India to go into. I've heard so many engineers and doctors, but what really motivated you to get to where you are today?
Siddhi, it is not that it is something unique that has happened for the very first time. We have lawyers from time immemorial who were thinkers, who were in the legal luminaries, who were of this kind, who were in this kind of profession, not exactly tagged with the tagline law. You talk about, first of all, Motilal Nehru. He was a prominent lawyer. You talk about Tej Bahadur Sapru. He was a freedom fighter and a lawyer. You talk about the scenario now. We have a sitting honorable judge of the Supreme Court who is a Kashmiri Pandit. We have a couple of Kashmiri Pandits who are honorable judges of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir. We have Kashmiri Pandit judges who are sitting, who have retired. One is sitting in Delhi High Court, incumbent judge. And apart else than that, we have Honorable Bansidal Bhatt, Justice Bansidal Bhatt, who is a retired judge, who is doing so well. He's been recently designated as a Supreme Court senior advocate. These people give you motivation, and these people tell you that the kind of brain that Kashmiri Pandits have, we need to utilize them at a proper place. This is very motivating for me, and I believe this should motivate other Kashmiri Pandits as well to join this profession, because this is a profession that will help you in numerous amount of ways. It is just you need to learn how you fit into the system, and you need to work hard. I do not see many lawyers, Kashmiri Pandits, coming and joining a profession of advocacy. I do not see many Kashmiri Pandits coming in. There are n number of reasons. I can discuss that with you on this very podcast. Soon we'll understand what are the reasons for them not coming to join this profession.
No, I completely agree. There are so many youth members here in KOA itself who have taken up subjects like international affairs and relations because eventually the whole solution we come up with is trying to get into the system to be heard. Which is, I believe, what we are going to discuss in this podcast today. But Manik, as you had mentioned, you are born and brought up in Jammu, which is post the genocide and migration of Kashmiri Pandits in 1990. So, what would you say is the current situation of the Kashmiri Pandit community in Jammu?
The one point before I begin is that it is very important and very concerning that we are not into the system. When I say system, I mean administration. I mean authoritative posts. We are not exactly as of now. We are not into that arena. We are still lacking. Now, it is equally important to understand what is the pace of the community today, what it had been in previous years, and where do we stand now, and what do we aspire in our further years. That is very important. Now, first of all, when you say that I am born and brought up here, so I would tell you what are the concerns that I have felt and that are persisting in the society of Jammu now. Now, it is, I would say, whenever I'm asked this question, that what do you feel is the status of Kashmiri Pandit society? Where is the community going? In which direction is it heading? I often say that it is in a state of declared emergency. Why do I say so? Because we are being depleting consistently. From being a minority, we are reduced and getting reduced to a micro minority. Now, understand, please, as per the latest preliminary report conducted by the government, in 2020, we were roughly around 65,000 families, of which 40,000 or 40,000, 41,000 families are here in Jammu and Kashmir, and some 20,000 are in Delhi, and the rest of the families are out of Delhi and out of Jammu. Now this is the population, total population. Now population of Jammu and Kashmir itself is roughly around 1.36 crores. So you please understand how much of the scale of minority we are at this point of time. We are reducing. Now, why do I say that we are reducing? Because this community has developed such a herd mentality that everybody, for the sake of finding opportunity, an early convenient opportunity, I would suggest to tag it, that it is an early convenient opportunity that every Kashmiri Hindu family is seeking. They are moving out for the name of opportunity. Everybody, if I name a profession, say engineering, it is the profession after which every Kashmiri Pandit is running today. I don't know how this has chipped into the mind of Kashmiri Pandits that engineering is a profession, then one must join it. They have to take non-medical, they need to join the engineering, and only then they will flourish in life. The goal, I can understand the psyche there. The goal is, and the motto of parents there is, you start earning from the age of 21. Now, please understand this. We are not such type of community who is not that much brainy, who suffers from the acumen. See, it is in our it is our inert feature that it is a heredity in ourselves that we are intelligent from the very beginning. You talk about 18th century. I will take an example of the British era. You will be surprised to note that Kashmiri Pandits never revolted against the British. We were there in the administration of the British. You talk about Lucknow, you talk about Delhi, you talk about any other state. We were there in the administration of Delhi, of the British East India Company. And you know what happened there? The historical accounts say that other people were jealous of us entering the administration. They envied us. This was the situation. So you see the capability of Kashmiri Pandits there. We were into the system. Other people were envious. This happened with us. This happened with us at the time of the genocide. We were into the system. We were in the administration. We were at good government posts, with having good ties with the government, having good links with the government at influential posts that could influence the administration. And this was envied by a lot of people, by a lot of locals, and that is why we were pushed out. This is what the historical accounts say. I am not saying this. We were pushed out because of that. It is because of the envy that is created around us because of our brain. Now, you must also bear this in mind that Kashmiri Pandit community is the only community, I would say, who has migrated to a place and not taken resources from that place, rather given that place, donated to that place. We landed up in Jammu. The situation was that we were not acceptable to the people of Jammu at the very first instance. But the kind of psyche and the kind of acumen we brought in Jammu, we literated the whole city. We brought in the literature. It was the Kashmiris who started the trend of obituaries in the daily column of the Excelsior newspaper. We brought literature here. We instructed people how you can read, how you can write, how you can flourish in the field of the reading and writing, of government jobs. You take an example of like early 2000s. Every Kashmiri Pandit was into government jobs. They were doctors, good reputed doctor. Talk about Dr. Sushil Razdan. He's such a renowned doctor. He's a Kashmiri Pandit. But you see the trend from there onwards. When I see today, I see hardly any Kashmiri Pandit who is following the pattern of good doctors, great doctors. Say, I would take an instance of the worthy Dr. Sushil Razdan. Nobody is following the footsteps. Why is it? Why do we not have journalists who good upcoming journalists, Kashmiri Pandits? Why do we not have good JKS officers coming up, good IES officers coming up? Why they are reluctant in joining those services? I do not understand this. Why are they not in the profession of advocacy? They are hardly I see people joining advocacy. Hardly I see people joining, taking, or even studying law. I do not say law is a mandate and you have to study law. I say, why not doctors? Why do we not have doctors coming up? Why do we not have people? See, the situation is, this is what I've observed, that people, the parents, especially the Kashmiri Pandit parents, they tell the children, no, beta, you only have to take non-medical. Commerce, arts, these are the subjects which are taken up by the people who are less intelligent. It is not so. You talk about Tina Dabi, a girl who cracked the IAS exam at her at the age of probably, I believe, 21 years. She was an art student. You think she was any less intelligent by any other Kashmiri Pandits? He has just cracked the IAS exam some, I guess, in 5-6 years back. Her sister also cracked the IAS exam in the very first attempt. She was a gold medalist in her subject in her university. She took up arts. You think these people are less intelligent and Kashmiri Pandits are more intelligent, and that is why they're taking non-medical? I do not say not. You don't take non-medical. At least you push your children that they should delve into the arena which has more potential, or even ask your children what is their thought about what is their aspiration, what is their thought about this particular thing. You ask them, maybe they want to become good sportsmen. It is not that Jammu itself has not produced good sportsmen. There are multiple sportsmen that Jammu has produced. You see, you take up cricket. We have Abdul Samad here, Umran Malik here. They are playing internationally today. Where is Kashmiri Pandit voice? Where is the voice of Kashmiri Pandit? Where is the people? Where is a Kashmiri Pandit? I do not see Kashmiri Pandit playing cricket. Okay, I understand. This is the problem that, with Kashmiri Pandits, that they know we have brains. We can change the administrative work, but they do not want to utilize the brain to the fullest.
Yeah.
Now, as far as they are sort of shy and complacent and taking engineering jobs and taking any other normal job and start earning for themselves. Now there are ऐसा नहीं है कि only these people who go and study engineering or any other field, particularly engineering, they start earning from the age of 21. Many struggle also. It is not that jobs are waiting for the Kashmiri Pandits to come and take the money. It is not so. It, I believe, starts from the side of parents, that parents should at least promote their children, even ask their children, what is in your mind? What do you aspire? You should ask your children, and you should push your children. You should sustain yourself that, okay, let my child study commerce, let my child study arts. Maybe he can become a good IAS officer. It all boils down to the point that where do we make a representation? This is my point number one.
Yeah.
It is important for our community to make representation. See, people who have died, who have been killed due to militancy in Srinagar. You take an example of Ajay Bharti. You take an example. Take example of Rahul Bhatt and multiple other people who have unfortunately been shot by militants, by militant outfits in Kashmir in recent 2-3 years. Now you tell me, apart from political parties highlighting this, where do you see a Kashmiri Pandit raising a voice and condemning this all massacre that has happened? I do not see any Kashmiri Pandit coming up and making representation before the government that please conduct an SIT investigation in this matter. No Kashmiri Pandit has come up. A Kashmiri Pandit who is sitting in Bangalore, managing his ends of livelihood, is not at all concerned with this. Why is it so? You need to see that, without making a representation to the government, nobody is going to see your plight. Nobody is going to understand what you are, what your condition is today. That is why we have an elected democracy. We elect our representatives, and when representatives are not elected, you at least make representation. That is the whole purpose of the elected democracy.
Correct.
You start raising the concern. You don't know what authority to write to, you seek legal help. I say you write to at least the Lieutenant Governor of J&K if something happens in J&K. You write to the concerned, at least you write to the grievance cell. If nothing else comes to your mind, write to the grievance cell. You know, the Lieutenant Governor sits in Raj Bhavan. Why do you not post a letter? Nobody is going to say that, okay, we are Yellow Pages, we provide you the email account links of everybody, we provide you the phone numbers of everybody who is sitting in the administration. That is not going to happen. You know, Raj Bhavan is the place where the Lieutenant Governor sits. You write a post. What is stopping you? Mm-hmm. So one point is that we lack representation. Then another point is that we, for the sake of opportunity, we are getting depleted and scattered. we are moving out. People are moving out from J&K only with this line of thought that we'll find opportunities outside. Now, these opportunities are mainly comprised of doing jobs. Now, please understand, this mind of ours, of a Kashmiri Pandit, is not simply meant to do job, stay at a stagnant atmosphere. We can rise better than anybody. We can teach people, we can inculcate people, we can motivate people. I'll tell you a very good story. In the early, in the say fag end of 16th century and early starting of the 17th century, there was one Kashmiri Pandit, Pandit Kriparam Dutt. He faced certain insurgency in the region by some invaders. He approached the ninth Sikh Guru, the Guru Tej Bahadur. He approached him and he made a representation before him that you please come to our rescue. And he did. It is unfortunate that while catering to the cause, while addressing to the cause, the ninth Sikh Guru, Maharajji, they died. But it is at least significant to note that one Kashmiri Pandit dared to make a representation. He spoke up. He used his mind and not remained aloof like any other Kashmiri Pandit. Yeah. That is very important. You tend to remain aloof. What is happening in your community, you don't care. See, we are depleting 40 odd thousand families, and in the next coming 10 years, if this is the attitude that keeps running, we'll be nowhere. There will be no identification of us. Where was this community? Where did the community go? We scattered like 1,000 families will go out after every 5 years, and soon steady and slowly everything will vanish. This is a major concern. Yeah. Now, the other major concern that I have come across in this region, say I will talk about J&K especially, is that I feel that there is a sense of humiliation and there is a sense of hindrance which is persisting in the society. In what sense? It is in the sense that today a Kashmiri Pandit is, I feel, hesitant in proclaiming that I am a Kashmiri Pandit before 10 people, other people of other different communities sitting together. I do not know why is this mentality prevailing amongst the Kashmiri Pandits, that you do not expressly tell to people that I am a Kashmiri Pandit. We have Ertham as our festival. We used to, back in the days, we used to go to Kheer Bhavani. We used to celebrate our rituals. We used to follow our Kashmiri calendar religiously. Yep. I do not see that is happening today. It is not that, Gorvoth for that matter, people are ashamed of telling to people that we have 2 birthdays coming in a year. Why is it so? You take pride in the fact that you are a Kashmiri Pandit. And Kashmiri Pandit is not just any other community. It is not an invader. Please understand this. My message to everybody who is listening this is that please understand, we are not an invader. Kashmiri Pandit is as much Brahmin as any other Brahmin in India, in the Indic culture. There was one sage Durvasa. It was his disciple's 4th generation. Sage Durvasa was one prominent sage who was known for his sturdy, his orthodox, his rudimentary understanding of the Indic literature. I do not say mythology because I firmly believe it is not mythology. It is Indic literature. It is the literature of the Sanatan Dharma. Now, Sage Durvasa's disciples, 4th generation, brought in together the Shiva's philosophy, and this religion was constituted, the Kashmiri Pandit community. It was constituted. You see, and you please spread it, that the kind of worship of Shiva that we do is commendable. You see Shivratri. We are such a religious followers of Shiva. It is commendable.
Yeah, Shaivism is a huge thing in our community.
Yes. So we are religious followers of Shiva. Why don't you tell it to people that we have a separate calendar? You take pride in this, that we are what we are. People are ashamed of eating in thalis. Like back in days, we used to eat in thalis. This culture is very important. It makes you stick to your grass roots. and you should tell it to other people as well. You see in South, you go in South, they eat on banana leaves. Are they ashamed of anybody else that we eat on banana leaves? No, no, somebody else is sitting in a mansion in Mumbai and he's eating in ceramic plates. He's eating in glass plates. You do not have to compare it with them. You are basically being driven by the Western philosophy. It
Yeah.
doesn't make you a substandard or inferior human when you eat in steel thalis. Nobody at the end of your life, nobody is going to come and say, yeah, he used to eat in steel thalis. They will only talk about the kind of human you were, the kind of things you did for the society. It will only be recognized. It will not be seen that on in what thalis you used to eat. This
Mhm.
is an essential part of your culture. You are not following it. You start speaking in Kashmiri. You start conversating with your people in Kashmiri, at least your relatives for that matter, so that this gets inculcated to your younger generation as well. It is equally important that younger generations also know what is their Kashmiri calendar, also know what is their culture, also know what is Ertham, also know that how do we speak or even understand Kashmiri language. It is very important. And they should proudly tell it to people that I am a Kashmiri Pandit. What is stopping them? They perhaps feel that no, no, when I say Kashmiri Pandit, even outside J&K, when they say I am a Kashmiri Pandit, they will think ill about me. They will think something which is, concerning militancy. Oh, you've been dragged out,
Yeah,
genocide.
I agree. I
You
agree with
take,
what you're saying. Yeah. I
you
feel
take
like
pride in that.
identity, accepting an identity, especially being both like Kashmiri and American. Um, there I have seen so many people who kind of struggle with accepting that yes, I am a Kashmiri Indian American because of how I would say quote unquote problematic our community has been shown on like Western media. There have been so many instances where Kashmiri Pandits who are trying to go into journalism or whatever it is, who don't get that opportunity because there is an opposing side who comes out so much more stronger than us because they are unified. And I think that goes back to you saying about the representation that this community needs to bring, not just within our community, but also to the Indian government. So, what would you say is the best way we can make that representation, not just to the government, but just overall to the world so they know we exist and they know we're not a depleting community?
See, Siddhi, it is important to understand that those people who confront you with the fact that no, and those people who take this a fact that Kashmir is something which is related to fights, which is something related to genocide. No, 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 no. Please understand the essence of the word Kashmir.
Hmm.
Kashmir has been derived from the word Kashyap.
Yeah.
Kashyap is one of the rishis of seven rishis of the Indic literature, as per the Indic literature. The seven amongst the seven rishis, the rishi Kashyap. And the Kashmir is a word which is derived from that word. You please understand the essence of Kashmir first. This is important. And when I say that if anybody opposes you with that, you straight away hand him over this fact that see, this is the fact. This is the factor. Now, apart from that, when you say what is the amount of the what is the extent of representation that one should do, now you please understand the representation is not just limited to the government. Whenever anything happens, you make a representation within your community.
Hmm.
Let there be an integrated society. Let there be integration and not disintegration. Integration of the community is very important. You make it a point that you see in Pune there is a Yagja that is there. They call Kashmiri Pandits, please come, please get yourselves united. That
Yeah.
is there. KOA is there. It is calling for the people to get unified. There needs to be integrity. Integration is very important. Now, whenever there is a single, even minutest of the concern, you please raise it at an appropriate time and within the community of your people. Even if you are scattered, even somebody sitting in Bangalore, somebody sitting in Tamil Nadu, and somebody sitting in Srinagar, what they can do is they can harness this scattering by just preserving their culture, by keeping in contact with the Kashmiri people you know. You do not need to lose the control of every Kashmiri Pandit. You are from here. Okay, if you are not from here, that is a different thing. But you can still manage and reach out to the community. We have so many communities here. संस्थाएं हैं हमारे पास कितनी कश्मीरी संस्थाएं कश्मीरी पंडितों के लिए. You can reach up to them. You can even start a setup by yourself, where if you have 2 3 Kashmiri Pandits identified in your city, you please reach up to them. You say, okay, we can hang out together. Let's share our moments with each other. What is your family? Please understand. You go to them. You understand. One important thing is, Siddhi, I have seen in this community is that whenever two different, two unknown people meet each other of the same community, especially the Kashmiri Pandit community, I have seen this, that the amount of love they share with each other, the amount of gelling up that happens is commendable.
It
People
happens very
sort of,
fast.
yes,
Yeah.
very fast. It is, I believe it is the fastest. It
I
happens
do
like
want
in
to
a,
say something on that is because how small our community is. Recognizing a Kashmiri is as a Kashmiri, especially in this world, being so far away from India, it is so joyful. It literally brings joy to you because yeah,
yes,
I have grown up in an Indian community, but you don't see that many Kashmiris around you because as you said, we're already small and we're already dispersed around the entire globe. I mean in India itself, we're what 40,000 families in our own state, you know? So I do understand that joy that seeing another Kashmiri Pandit, how it can bring to us. And that's honestly the whole cause of any organization that is made by Kashmiri Pandits. But yes, sorry, please continue.
yes, that is a good input. That is what I was saying, that this is the internal connection that we have with our people. And this is the only kind of connection that we have. And we should try and further this connection more and more with increasing amount of time, that you connect with your own people. This is how the community will grow. You will share the values, you will share the folklore, and this will pass on to you, the other generation, to the future generations. So this is very important.
Yep. I think everything you've said so far has been great. And I do want to go back on one thing a little bit. You have said about like making a representation, and you have spoken about opportunity, and you have spoken about medicine and engineering and all of that. And I feel it all kind of ties back into the Kashmiri quota that was presented to the Kashmiri Pandits. So, if you were to say, in a more law perspective, if the law can come out and support and aid Kashmiri Pandits, what could it be other than the relief amounts that we get, or other than the Kashmiri quota? Is there more that can be provided to Kashmiri Pandits at this time?
Right, it is very right of yours saying that the kind of relief that we are getting, the kind of quotas that we are getting, what is more there in the store, what the law offers to the Kashmiri Pandits. Now, when you highlighted this fact that we get relief and we get quotas, I go back in saying that please don't be just complacent over a fact that you are getting relief from the government. There is hardly any community which is getting a monetary benefit, and when and not doing anything about it. When I say not doing anything about it, I say that you are directly given the monetary benefit. You tell me any other community who is given the monetary benefit in their bank account every month. This is an additional support that was initiated at that point in time because you were distressed, because our community was distressed. Now, what people have done is they have utilized this amount as if it is an amount that is a gift given by the government, and they are very complacent about it. They are thinking that okay, fine, we are getting this amount, it means that this is our income. This is not your income. See, one family is distressed, it is understandable, but if one family is distressed and not doing anything about it, it is a major problem. There are certain families within this Kashmiri Pandit community which are taking this relief and not moving a single inch, not doing any hard work. Please bear this in mind, that your mind is one of the brainiest mind. You please do something with your mind. You can create wonders. You are just taking the money and sitting doing nothing. It is not the purpose of giving you the monetary aid. It is, the purpose was to help the distressed families. If you are getting this amount, okay, I see, for those whose case is genuine is fine. But if you are just taking that amount and doing nothing, then please inculcate your children to push themselves. They can, if they push themselves, if they put stress in their mind, they can do wonders. So that is what the law is not there to help you with. Law basically believes in the equality of equals. Once you are placed at a level playing field, the job of the law is over. The law will only come into picture when there is some there is some adversity, or there is some unnerving which is happening at your end. It will come to help. Now you, the Kashmiri Pandits, have equal amount of rights and equal amount of opportunities, just as much as the other communities do. They are compassionate appointments, which happens with every other citizen of India. They are given compassionate appointment if some misery happens upon the family and the person was into the government jobs, or not in the government job, you are given the class 4 appointments. See, now the point is that it brings me back to the point of representation. If Kashmiri Pandits who have died, there is one person, Deepu, who recently died, who was shot. Now, political parties are making a representation that he should be given a compassionate, one of the member of his family should be given compassionate appointment. Now I say, where were the members of Kashmiri Pandits at the time of killings of Kashmiri Pandits recently? That were they coming up and saying that please give the family some compassionate appointment, their family is in misery? There were no representations. That is why I focused on the fact that there needs to be representation. Now, how does law help? Now, law provides you equal amount of opportunities as in any other case. You have an added advantage of belief. Law helped you at that point in time by giving you quotas, an additional seat in the good colleges of Maharashtra and good colleges of Punjab. Now people have taken that as a right, that okay, this is an opportunity that was which is waiting for me if I complete my 12th. Please understand, it is not an opportunity. It was a benefit. It was a rehabilitation scheme that was started. It is not an opportunity for you that something is waiting for you, just go and grab it. It is basically a rehabilitation kind of mechanism that is created, that okay, it is a distressed appointment, a distressed allotment that will be allotted to people who have the capacity but do not have the financial means, or who do not have the financial means and neither do they have the financial capacity, but yes, they have something in them that can make them compete with less amount of people. So two people who are parallelly situated can compete, and one of them who is brighter will get the seat. But today we see people who have crossed, who are at the role of 90% and financially good, they are also taking seats of the quotas. Probably you are compromising the seat of the quotas of some other Kashmiri Pandit who is much more deserving than you. So I say that law will help you. You please allow the law to help you in the utmost right manner, and you please contribute in making the light, in helping the law to reach its light to the downtrodden sect of the Kashmiri Pandits community. This is what I would say. There are reliefs that are available to you. So that the government is doing so much. You cling on to the fact that what government is doing, I'll do. You see where you will land up.
Mm-hmm.
Like any other person who is flourishing, you cling on to that aspect. Not run behind the certain jobs which are there because as a byproduct of herd mentality. No, please don't do that. So that is how the law will help you, and this is how you need to allow the law to help you, or even you need to make a representation to, so that law can also take its course. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I would say.
Yeah, I see how everything you've said can tie into Kashmiri Pandits just being comfortable in the situation that they are, and that it's high time for us to, buck up and like go into a more progressive direction.
Yes.
But Manik, before I wrap up our podcast, are there any final words that we did not, or anything we did not touch base upon that you would like to tell our audience right now?
No, I think we have deliberated upon a lot of issues, but
Yes.
according to me, the prominent issues that I want to convey, that I want the society of our that I want our community to follow, is that we uphold your culture, promote your culture, don't be ashamed of this culture, know your culture, don't get swayed by the Western ideology, don't get swayed by the region you are in. You are the community who is given such amount of benefits by the government. You are a community that has a brain of like no other. You are the community which believes in the fact, in the fact of charity. This community in itself has an inert capability of giving to the society, of flourishing the society, it lands up to. You go to any place in the country, you go to any place out of the country where the community has stepped up, it has given to the society and not drained the resources of that state. So you understand the capacity, the capability of yourself. You start taking steps, uphold your culture, spread your culture, and do not be complacent. Do not just sit there at ease. Okay, government will help me. Nobody is coming to your rescue unless you go. Even God will not help you. Even God, if you sit down in a mandir and start praying, please make me rich, please make me rich. No power in the world can come and donate you. Okay, you take these jewels. No, you have to work hard. You have to move. Nobody else is going to move for you. Nobody else, if one is moving, he will earn for himself, not give you that money or not give you that respect. You reach up to a level where you can, where eyebrows of people are looking, the eyes of the people look at you. You rise up to that particular level so that people look up to you and then, yeah, this man is from my community. You talk about the one of the senior most sitting judges of Honorable Supreme Court is a Kashmiri Pandit. People should look up to him. People should be like him, because at this point in his life, he's in a position to make influence on crores of people, sending out a message that I am a Kashmiri Pandit. So that fragment of your society is at such a position. You understand, if such fragments come out from our society and be at a good position, you understand we'll be saved from being reduced to a micro minority, and we will probably rise then. Save this community from depleting. That is what I would say broadly.
Oh, thank you so much. I completely agree with everything you're saying, that it is high time that, one, if we are getting into the system, we need to get into the system in a more administrative way, because that is the most effective way. But looking back at everything that was discussed today, I know for sure I've gained a more in-depth understanding of the situation of Kashmiri Pandits in Jammu and Kashmir, and the need for us to advance into becoming a more cohesive community. And I really hope our listeners learned a little more about this topic. Listeners, if you guys do have any suggestions about more topics that we should cover in the future, please DM us and let us know. You can learn more about the KP community from our social media at KOA Youth on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And you can follow our TikTok account, which is called at Everything Kosher Podcast, for podcast-related content only. Thank you once again, Manik, for joining us today. See you guys soon on another episode of Everything Kosher. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskar.